What's happening, folks? This is Final Flash 50, and finally we get to continue the Sonic series with the game that was redeveloped by all the talented people you're seeing the titles of right now, Sonic the Hedgehog CD on the Sega CD. Yeah, this is a Sonic game. It came out after Sonic 2, but chronologically takes place before Sonic 2. That's why I'm playing it in this order. Although I am playing the Xbox 360 remastered version of this game, so we are widescreen now and a bunch of other things are improved. Right away, I'll also say that this menu screen you see here, this really colorful setup that they have put here, it's also exclusive to the remake. You know, all these extra features here and everything. I'll actually have an extra video at the end of the playthrough for all that stuff, so stay tuned for that. So we're about to watch a cutscene, which again would normally take place before the title screen, but this remade version changes that, and it takes place once you start your file now. So I'll be quiet so you can watch this badass cutscene. Enjoy.
It's a supersonic flight, gotta keep it going. Sonic boom, sonic boom, sonic boom, keeps you running fast. Sonic boom, sonic, save the planet from disaster. Sonic boom, sonic, spinning through a world in motion. Sonic boom, sonic boom.
How about that music? I cannot even count the amount of times I played that song on guitar. So this is Sonic CD, and this is definitely a unique Sonic game. I mean, this 3D part only happens like right here, but there are all kinds of new things that this game does that other Sonic games never actually repeat, or at least rarely. I mean, the speed shoes now change the music up. Sonic has new abilities now, and you can even time travel in this game, depending on what sign you ran through. After that, if you run fast enough for a long enough amount of time, you manage to time travel. And we're in the past now. So yeah, you can travel to the future if you run through the right sign, but that's just an awesome feature that this game adds. You can travel through time now. Hoorah! Speaking of new abilities, by the way, this is the Super Peel Out, and this is the Spin Dash. Yeah, all you have to do is press up or down, and Sonic, if you press down, will curl into a ball, and then once you release the up button, he will launch himself. And if you do it upwards, you use the Super Peel Out. That's the one where his feet turn into a figure 8. And the same thing happens. He launches himself forward really fast, and it is definitely an essential move in these Sonic games. The Spin Dash, the downwards one, that one makes a return in pretty much every Sonic game after this. But the Super Peel Out, the upwards one, that is actually exclusive to Sonic CD and, you know, a few other handheld games. But once again, if you manage to have 50 rings by the time you reach the end of the stage, you get the huge ring that takes you to the special stage. And I love the end of the level theme. Seriously, it sounds like the victory jingle to a 90s game show or something.
So, the special stages in this game.
Not the same as the ones in Sonic 1. No, this game changes it up. Supposedly the stage is using graphics that only the CD can generate. You know, the Genesis wouldn't be able to handle it. But all you're supposed to do in these special stages is run across this whole track here, and you're supposed to leap at all these UFOs, and you're supposed to make sure you destroy all of them. So I made quick work of this first one here, and what you get from these special stages, you collect this crystal here, which is called a time stone. Yeah, it's literally green. You want to call it a Chaos Emerald, but no, these are not the Chaos Emeralds. The Chaos Emeralds are not in Sonic CD. We're collecting time stones now, and there are 7 of them. No, there is no special ability or transformation when you get all 7 of them. But something does happen. And it's a little bit more substantial than just huge flowers growing on the island at the end of the game. And that would actually be a good thing to get into right now, actually. What happens when you get all the time stones is the future of the levels of the game, you know, when you travel to the future. There's basically 2 versions of them. There's the good future and the bad future. And depending on the future you have, that will decide whether you get the good ending or the bad ending of the game. But the cool thing about this is that there's actually 2 ways of achieving the good ending. You can either do what I'm doing and get all the time stones by the end of the game, or you can do it the other way, whereas in each act of the game, you have to travel to the past and then find a robot generator somewhere within the level. There's one of them in each act of the game. You have to destroy it. You know, I'm going to be doing that right here. So you find a sign that says past, and then, you know, obviously I explained this the first time. You want to travel at a high enough speed for a long enough amount of time, and then you time travel. Once again, we're going back to the past because there's really no objective in the future, but once you've made it to the past, you basically want to explore the level, and eventually you will find this. Once you've destroyed that robot generator, every enemy in the level will perish, and you have officially set the good future to this act. This act alone. The way you restore the good future to the whole zone, you have to do it for both acts. The reason I say both acts is because the 3rd act in this game is reserved for the boss fight. Right here though, you will find a hologram of an evil Metal Sonic stepping on an animal. And once you destroy those things, for the rest of that level, you'll find animals all across the ground, frolicking, having a good time, and that's actually just a little finishing touch you can add to each level. It doesn't actually do anything though. So to tell the story of this game real quick, since you might be wondering, why do you have to travel back in time to destroy those robot generators? Well, that's actually what Eggman's plan is this time. He's used the power of the time stones and gone back in time to build his empire in robot fortresses, all in the past. So, you know, by the time Sonic realizes something is wrong, it's already too late. It's already happened. So, you know, that's where the game starts. We have our 2 objectives to try and get the good future. I will be beating these special stages and getting the time stones, because that's just the way I prefer to play this game. The way I see it is that it's a little bit more of a comfortable method to get the time stones, because it's a little bit less work. Think about it, there are only 7 time stones, so that's 7 special stages to beat. If you're trying to get the good future of each act, that's 14 acts you have to do a lot of hunting in to find those robot generators. Plus, I think these special stages are just really fun to play, especially since this version I'm playing of Sonic CD really remasters these special stages to be something new and awesome. I mean, I guess there's a little bit more I could be telling you about the fundamentals of these special stages and how they work, so I'll get back around to that as soon as we play another one, but we got our 2nd time stone now. And it is orange. Yeah, the time stones actually differ from the Chaos Emeralds in color. I mean, I think even the Chaos Emeralds have a few differing colors from game to game, and they're not always the same shape as each other either. But anyway, we'll be moving on to the 3rd act now, where you always appear in the future, no matter what. And this kind of annoys me because this good future you see here, it looks just like the present time. And I'm trying to show you that the good futures, they all look really beautiful and futuristic and happy, and the bad futures, now they look dark, tragic, industrial. You know, I think I'll be showing you at least one of them in this playthrough. But anyhow, there is actually an extra life in each 3rd act of the game, and I will be showing you all of them. So here's the one for the first level, and like I said, the 3rd act is in fact reserved for the boss, so we'll be finding him right on over here. And Eggman is dressed in pink. Gee, that was hard. Yeah, even when you don't have the invincibility, all you have to do is wait for him to pull his arms back and then hit him 3 times. I would not call that a boss fight. It's just a really strong enemy. So the robot machines you find at the end of the levels in this game actually release flowers instead of animals. I've never really been too sure what that's all about, but the more the merrier. See you in part 2.